For years now, fans have been begging me to get this one figure. It's supposedly the best action figure out there of my favorite dinosaur hybrid, the Indominus Rex. Is this actually the best Indominus figure out there? Or at least better than the Hammond Collection one? Well, I've got good news. I made a whole damn video about it. Watch it to find out. Hey guys, GarrytheGremlin here, but I can't deal with that now. Today we're taking a long-awaited look at the Nanmu Studios Berserker Empress. Totally not the Indominus Rex. Now, if you're familiar with my channel and my game, you probably have heard tell of my feelings for the Indominus Rex. Many have reported that I am the #1 fan of this dino, and while that title actually definitely belongs to fellow Indom enthusiast Cat, I'm content to be the #2 Indominus fanatic. Indomatic? That's what we're calling it. I seem to have a bit of a reputation with this species. Whatever you've heard, it's warranted. I love this bad girl so much, I'm legally married to her. Never mind.
Oh, dang it! Well, I'm out of here. Goodbye, everyone.
Well, it still stands that I love the Indominus, just now from a purely platonic standpoint. And I do love the idea of a hybrid dinosaur as the perfect evolution of the themes of chaos and hubris from Michael Crichton's original Jurassic Park novels. A dinosaur genetically engineered to be the most dangerous killing machine ever is the sort of thing that happens if you forego ethics in order to make something entertaining. And that's why I felt so darn conflicted on that Hammond Collection release. A dinosaur I'd been so excited to see added to this line, what could have undoubtedly been the best figure in the line, unfortunately delivered with the energy of a coughing baby. We'll talk about her more, don't you worry. But needless to say, the Hammond Collection has set the bar to pass for Indominus Rex action figures exceedingly low. Then comes in my favorite little Berserker Empress. And what a beautiful Berserker Empress she is. But first I've got to thank the good folks who sent me this figure. Shout out to JP Fans. They're not even officially sponsoring me this video, I just think they deserve it for being a friend of the channel. They sent me this figure as part of our first collaboration together, as well as a bunch of other awesome figures. If you want to go see that unboxing video, as well as my first reactions to this figure, go check it out using the card, you know the deal. If you're the type of person who regularly is making big, expensive orders of action figures shipped from other countries, well then you're just like me and we can be broke together, yippee! But you could also be a little less broke by ordering your figures from JP Fans, as it's the most cost-effective way to shop directly from Japan. Go check out their website using the link in the description and you'll get an exclusive $86 shipping coupon, plus a 50% off Mercari coupon. Now, let's get into the actual figure. Hey Gary, what about the box? Oh yeah, here's the box and... But we should talk about the accessories real fast because you'll be seeing them a ton. First up, there's this great adjustable stand with a nice grabby arm, great for keeping her steady, as well as a fantastic amount of alternate hands. You get two of these same relaxed looking ones, this big open scary outstretched one for her right arm, this sort of open grabbing one for the left, and another lefty and entirely my favorite accessory, maybe even ever, this fantastic splayed hand. It's all I ever wanted. We're gonna get into articulation way on down the line, keep it in your pants. But it's hard for me to do likewise because this splayed hand has got me super excited. Including alternate hands on an Indominus Rex figure is a great idea. She's got such big hands and she's always doing silly stuff with them, like scratching up walls and throwing dudes. It'd be silly to release an Indominus Rex with alternate hands and make them virtually the same, right? Right? Sorry, we're not even into the proper review yet and I'm already roasting the Hammond Collection one. The first and obvious thing this Berserker Empress excels at is looking dead on 100% accurate to the film Indominus Rex. It's really so amazing. Nanmu really killed it both sculpted detail and paintwork wise and kept it super accurate as well. There's an insane amount of detail work in the scales here. This thing is amazing. I want to draw attention to the wrinkles of skin and how they subtly shape and affect how the scales around them are shaped. It gives this figure so much depth and life. All the subtle contours, the subtle curves on the skin, it gives the impression that there's muscle and weight under the skin, which is mind-blowing. This is just a toy you can buy online. Hey, check out JP Fans. But it has detail so precise it looks like some sort of taxidermied bird. This is probably the most impressive thing about this figure, second only maybe to her proportions. Maybe this category of detail feels so important because of how much Mattel shat the bed with their premium collector version, but these proportions are 100% accurate to the film model. I've always liked how the Indominus in the film does look strange and bizarre, and beyond the whole obvious Gollum meets a T-Rex thing going on, I think a lot of that is because the expert animation as well as these strange proportions. She's got some weird proportions, some strange shapes, and that means that she kind of moves different, which gives her a different feel than all the other dinosaurs. It's great to see that captured here. This figure gets her long, spindly arms, bizarre, awkwardly wide feet, large, bulky neck and chest combined with an extremely thin tail. It may sound like I just body shamed her like crazy, but no, this is right, and she looks so great. One of the biggest issues I had with the Hammond Collection release was just how fat its head looked. Poor girl looked like she'd been stung by 1,000 bees. Or, 1,000, Disco Scapa apicula? That's the oldest bee. I just googled what's the oldest bee, and this is the oldest bee. This bee is so old. The only thing older than this bee is probably your mother. Anywho, look at the two of them top down, it's a wild comparison. The Hammond Collection Indominus has got a head almost twice as wide. Nanmu's even has the film-accurate crest where one's shorter on the left side. As far as I know, I've never seen a single Mattel figure that's gotten that detail right. Not even the Edel Toys one has got that right. This is so cool to me. On top of the absurd level of realism and detail in the sculpting, there's also the paint. It's a beautifully deceptive paint job. From a distance, it just looks plain gray. But up close, there's all these subtle layers of tan and white and gray and blue. I'd love to highlight the gorgeous inside of her mouth. The sculpted detail speaks for itself, it's crazy. But then the paint brings out all the depth and the little intricacies, it's wild. I love how Nanmu does their teeth, by the way, it's always so great. They're made out of a slightly transparent plastic or resin, in fact, I think the whole head is, but they're also painted. It's the sort of situation where, much like the sculpted detail, it imitates real life so well. Around the edges of the teeth, you see that slight transparency that you see in real animals. Also, like a real-life dinosaur, these teeth are sharp as shit. Ow! So much better than the Hammond Collection version with her hot dog teeth. Get that out of here! Wait, bring it back. I wasn't done roasting her. Take a good long look, Mattel. This is what a painted Dewclaw looks like. The Hammond Collection Indominus has got no painted Dewclaw, as well as unpainted hand claws. And her hands are brown for some reason. Probably brown from wading through all the crap Mattel makes.
Stinky.
Every single one of the Nanmu Indominus's hands are painted amazingly with some great nails as well. Overall, in this area, the Nanmu release is really fantastic. And I'm impressed how much this older figure has held up, especially when compared to new releases. Speaking of being compared to newer releases, size comparison time. From the tip of her tail to her jagged Indominus teeth, Empress is right over 16 inches long and in your run-of-the-mill neutral standing pose, around 6.5 inches tall to the top of her back. This 1/35th scale size means she's much smaller than the Hammond Collection scale, but that doesn't mean she's a shrimp by any means. Let's run through the comparisons. First up, Action Master Grimlock, Gary the Godzilla, the Council of Raptors, and some 1/18th scale human buddies. Next up, let's quickly run through some of her Nanmu friends. Here's the Lost World Buck, the Jurassic Park 3 Spino, Cameron, and hey wait, he's not a Nanmu figure. If you're curious, here's how Empress scales with the Hammond Collection Blue, the Scorpius Rex, and last, the Hammond Collection Indominus Rex. I see many comments from people saying that they love the look of this figure. They would love to have it. Yet the only thing they don't like is the size, because it won't scale with their other figures. Listen, I understand this fully. I said the same thing for a long time. That was me 3 months ago. But let me tell you, you're wrong. I was wrong. If size is the only thing stopping you from getting this figure, don't let it stop you. Size just really doesn't matter when we're talking about a figure that's this perfect. Well, almost perfect. God dang it, Nanmu! Empress here was so close! This close! She was gonna get a pat on the head, a 10 out of 10, and was gonna go back to the shelf as top contender for figure of the year. But these joints suck. We had a good thing going here, Nanmu, and you screwed it up! Berserker Empress has the unfortunate honor of being one of the earliest Nanmu Smart Series releases. If you didn't know, Nanmu used to exclusively make statues, and they were pretty good at it. I don't think they're ever making another statue again. RIP statue fans. By now, Nanmu has really stepped up their game. With the new Spinosaurus figures, I've got almost no complaints posing-wise. They hardly need a stand most of the time. Unfortunately, with this being an older release, it's not so much the case. It seems like they were still figuring out the intricacies of joint tolerances and such, and a lot of this figure is floppy like the floppy fish the Mosasaurus thought she had when it was snack time. Well, no use in stalling, let's get into it. Floppy posing time. At the head, you've got an opening jaw. It's not as wide as you can get on the Hammond Collection one, and I think that's a downgrade. I love that Hammond Collection jaw articulation. It's one of the few great things that they managed to get on every large carnivore. Because I've just said how much I love it, Mattel is likely to release their next large carnivore without it. Just wait and see. This ball joint at the back of the head has a surprisingly great range. There's a middle section that also has a pretty good range. And this one at the base of the neck has this awesome shifting joint, so it can range really far up and down. The side to side isn't that great, but the swivel is pretty fine, and you can work them together to get what you want most of the time. The shoulders can go out a little weakly, and then swivel all the way around, though be careful, there's some resistance. I just take your time with it like I'm doing here. Elbows bend pretty well, and then they also swivel. And the wrists hinge and swivel, though I'd be very careful. They feel very fragile. Swapping them for the alternate hands is actually a little scary, but just use your trusty hairdryer, take some time, and you'll be alright. There is an excellent mid-torso joint, however. I always love myself one of these. It adds so much to the dynamics of a pose, and this one manages to get around all these spikes pretty easily as well. These thighs scare me. It's on a really loud ball joint. Listen to it. This thing just protests the entire time you move it, but it can swivel decently as well as hinge in and out. The knee bends and swivels, or so I am told. That's a joke. Mine can work, I just need the hairdryer for it every single time. They're so tight. The ankles are on a ball joint, and so are the feet, and each toe can bend. I love these bendy toes. It means the world to me that they can do this. It's that extra mile that makes these feel well articulated, not just like your usual dinosaur action figure. It's what makes these feel a step above any other posable dinosaur. Last up, each segment of the tail is on a ball joint. There's 4 different segments, each with a ton of posability, but just also with a lot of looseness too. And that's overall the only problem with this figure's articulation and the figure as a whole. Them joints be loose as hell. The neck and the tail are the main places that suffer from it, yet most joints elsewhere are scary tight. These joints that are super tight aren't really much of a problem, as loosening stuff up with the hairdryer is fine. But these sloppy, floppy joints can really bring down the experience while handling this gal. Everything else on this figure has been a clear improvement over that middling Hammond Collection equivalent, but in this area, it's really a pick your poison situation. I'm even tempted to say that the Hammond Collection Indominus might be better here. The articulation ranges are far worse, overall for sure, no doubt about that. But then the stability makes it so much better. And yeah, as a whole, I was ready to instantly name this Nanmu Berserker Empress as far superior compared to the Hammond Collection one. But after handling both of them, it's not really so black and white. There's certainly pros and cons to each respective Indominus, and I guess it's up to the buyer to decide which one is worth their time and worth their money. While the Hammond Collection Indominus looks like that, it does handle decently well and at least scales with 90% of my dinosaur collection. On the other hand, the Nanmu Berserker Empress looks absolutely flawless. I mean, a 10 out of 10 stunner if I've ever seen one. Indominus perfection in my hands. She handles rather terribly. Who wins? Well, I don't see dino debate in the thumbnail, so I think that's up to you to decide for yourself. Weak articulation aside, Berserker is 100% better, and I'm extremely happy with this figure. I think I would totally recommend it, just maybe for only the slightly older Jurassic fans, on the 13 and up side of things if you will. Hell, I guess if you're an extremely careful 7-year-old, I'd recommend this figure to you as well. But if you're 7 years old, you should probably not be watching my videos. This is by far and away the weakest Nanmu figure I've handled so far, but that's not too much of a negative. It turns out that the weakest Nanmu releases are still about on par with the best releases Mattel can manage. But again, that's just because this Empress happens to be an older figure. I tell you, I cannot wait for some of the things Nanmu has been cooking up. I have all of these new Raptors on pre-order, and they just revealed that new Ember T-Rex as I'm editing this. Combine that with the recently teased Howlong Good articulated dinosaur figures, and it might just be the best time ever to be a dinosaur collector. I'm in Mesozoic heaven. I'm also beyond happy to have been sent this figure from JP fans, and I want to thank them again so much for it. And also, a big thanks to you, the viewer, if you've made it so far in the video. Thanks so much for hanging around and watching my goofy dinosaur videos. It means the world to me. Alright, that's it for this one. Thanks again for watching. Gary the Gremlin, out.